Allez, salut tout le monde les gens et bienvenue pour ce premier épisode sur le jeu The Raven Remastered. Alors c'est un jeu point and click comme vous pouvez le voir avec notre émission, hein, c'est Toute la Clique Pointinel, donc les jeux point and click normaux. Parce qu'il y a tout type de jeux. Maintenant il y a plein de jeux qu'on appelle point and click et c'est pas des point and click, par exemple les jeux avec des choix. Hein, comme les jeux Telltale, bon, à un moment on les appelait des point and click. Maintenant c'est plus vraiment le nom, mais on les appelle, certains les appellent comme ça. Il y a même des jeux où vous cherchez ce qu'on appelle des jeux à objets cachés. Ça s'est appelé aussi à une époque des point and click parce que il fallait pointer et cliquer pour pouvoir récupérer pour faire le jeu, voilà. Donc c'est pointer et cliquer, de toute façon. Quand ça joue avec la souris, c'est un point and click. Ça peut être aussi un FPS. Ça peut être le cas. Donc c'est un jeu, comme son nom l'indique, qui a été remaster, donc je vous le redis à chaque jeu où il y a un nom, ou un terme remaster, ou que c'est justement un remaster, ou un remake, ou un reboot. Alors, quelle est la différence entre les trois? Le remaster, c'est vous avez un jeu, on touche juste à la qualité de l'image. Voilà, on va dire ça, la qualité de l'image. Voilà, la musique, elle s'excite. Eh bien, on touche juste à la qualité de l'image pour les écrans actuels. Voilà, les écrans récents. Voilà, les plus récents, pour que le jeu puisse passer sans souci sur ces écrans-là. Et pas qu'ils aient un petit écran où vous avez un 4x3 avec des barres noires, ça peut être... voilà. Donc en fait, on va dire, ils étirent l'image, mais ils jouent aussi avec la qualité de l'image, pour que ça passe. Voilà, c'est généralement ça, les remasters. Un remake, c'est... Alors, il y a plusieurs possibilités, c'est... On change le moteur du jeu, donc c'est ça peut être le même jeu, mais avec un moteur différent. Je donne un exemple qu'on a fait sur cette chaîne. Le Spyro Reignited Trilogy, c'est un remake. Voilà, ils ont refait tout le jeu sous un autre moteur, mais c'est le même jeu, on fait les mêmes choses dans chaque jeu. Il y a les mêmes trucs, il y a le même système de jeu, mais graphiquement, c'est pas le même. Voilà. Voilà. Vous regardez, Spyro était en polygone à l'époque sur PSO, et là, il est plus en polygone, il est un peu plus... il fait plus dragon. Il faisait déjà dragon à l'époque. Et reboot, c'est carrément, on prend un jeu, et on change son histoire, on retravaille l'histoire, on change complètement l'histoire. Alors il y en a plein qui pensaient que le God of War de 2016 était un reboot. C'est pas un reboot, c'est la suite. C'est la suite de l'histoire de ce qui s'est passé après ce qu'il a eu, mes aventures, parce qu'on le voit le long du jeu que les dieux nordiques savent qui il est. Ils savent que c'est un dieu, il a pris la place d'un dieu grec. Donc donc ils savent qui il est. Donc voilà, donc c'est pas un reboot, mais un reboot c'est vraiment on reprend l'histoire et on la retravaille. Un exemple qu'on a fait aussi sur cette chaîne, il y avait eu Mirror Edge qu'on avait fait, et il y a eu Mirror Edge Catalyst qui est pas la suite, c'est un jeu refait. Voilà, c'est un reboot de l'histoire de l'autre, c'est un reboot. Il y a les deux, mais voilà, c'est un reboot. Donc voilà. Et donc oui, pour revenir au remake, aussi on peut ne pas toucher au moteur du jeu, mais rechanger le système de jeu. Ou carrément changer les deux, quoi. Comme par exemple les derniers FF7 qui sont sortis. Voilà, FF7 Remake et Rebirth. Qui sont les deux qui ils ont changé complètement la façon de gameplay. L'autre était plus tour par tour, lui plutôt un action, un peu comme ce qu'on fait, on a joué avec Vision of Mana. C'est un peu pareil. peu près pareil. Donc voilà. Donc ben voilà pour vous dire les trucs, hein. Remaster, remake, tout ça, c'est pas la même chose. Les gens se trompent, des fois ils disent remake pour dire remaster, et des fois ils disent remaster pour dire remake. Alors que c'est, voilà. Il y a le re qui... voilà, c'est remasterisé. Quand on remasterise quelque chose, je crois que dans la musique, quand on remasterise quelque chose, c'est quand il y a une musique qui a un peu été altérée par le temps, genre bah, par les âges, parce que c'était fait sur pellicule ou sur un autre support qui est plus comment dire plus passible de d'être altéré par le temps. Bah on les met sur un autre support pour on essaye de le remettre sur un autre support en faisant en sorte par ordinateur de d'enlever ces bugs, d'enlever ces sons, c'est peut-être ces bruits parasites ou des choses comme ça, donc voilà, ça, une remasterisation. On le remet au goût du jour, voilà. Alors que un remake, c'est on le refait. Make, c'est fabriquer, donc refabriquer, on le refabrique. Voilà. On connaît les termes. Et reboot, bah, c'est booter, donc c'est refaire depuis le... Tout refaire, quoi. Vraiment tout refaire, même l'histoire, tout. Bref. Chaque fois je parle un peu beaucoup en début de première vidéo, mais on va lancer ce jeu. Ah d'accord, donc il y a 3 chapitres. Bon là ils sont indisponibles parce que bah faut faire chacun. Donc je crois que c'est une même histoire, mais vue par... ce que j'ai cru comprendre, c'est une même histoire. Donc il y a 3 chapitres, parce que c'est une même histoire vue par 3 personnes différentes. Et à la fin, bien sûr, je pense que le 3e chapitre, tout se regroupe. On va faire chapitre 1. Hein. Ok, donc il y a un inventaire. Donc on est en... clairement dans un point and click. Hein. Oui, donc là on peut voir que c'est THQ Nordic qui a récupéré les droits de, je pense, de la licence de ce jeu.
The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place. Hey, Harold, have you read this? Harold?
Attends.
I don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
You're funny, but you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Merde, j'ai vous... Je peux... Allez, y'a pas un moyen de...
What's your name, boy?
My name is Matthew Miller.
And
Ah,
where are
je
you?
voudrais les sous-titres.
Pennsylvania, but my mom and I live in England now. She's taking care of some rich old lady. We're on our way to Venice at the moment.
Impressed? I've spent my
Ouais, Wolgulc, je
And what's with
comprends rien. Ta gueule, ta gueule, ta gueule, je comprends rien.
you do? 2 days ago, there wasn't.
Really?
Yeah?
You told
Zal. No, monsieur.
get a move on.
Inspector Leg.
We but
But monsieur, surely.
we have if you
Ah, mais j'ai mis les sous-titres et ils y sont pas, mais c'est quoi ces jeux qui sont pas... Désolé, mais bon, je sais plus. Comment je quitte? Bon, désolé, je vais quitter le jeu de façon violente. J'ai passé la cinématique de début, c'est un petit peu embêtant. J'avais mis les sous-titres et ils n'y sont pas. Je comprends que dalle, moi, donc moi je veux un jeu qui a au moins des sous-titres en français, quoi. Paramètres. Sous-titres, oui. Alors attends, me dis pas. Alors j'ai l'impression qu'en fait le jeu, quand tu mets non, c'est oui, et quand tu mets oui, c'est non. Je vais faire une nouvelle partie, on va recommencer. Donc désolé, on va se retaper le truc, mais bon... J'ai mis les sous-titres et apparemment ce jeu n'est pas... je vais voir si là j'ai mis non et ça me met les sous-titres. C'est que ça fonctionne, et s'il n'y a pas les sous-titres, ça va être chiant. Voilà.
The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place. Hey, Harold, have you read this? Harold? 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 You hear me? This is no time for fun and games.
Shh, calm down. I'm a copper. We're on the same side.
A copper? What are you doing here? And where's Harold?
Harold? Well, there's another guard back there unconscious. That's probably him. The Eye of the Sphinx. Where is it?
It's there.
Oh, good. Then he hasn't got it yet.
You mean the Raven's heir?
Shh, turn it off. He's gonna steal the eye.
But how do you know?
Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we catch him. Do you understand?
Yeah, but
Do you understand? You and me, mate, we'll be heroes. All right, now, we just have to...
what?
Halt! Stop! You're under arrest!
Corbeau. Voilà, là suffisait juste de mettre non et vous avez les sous-titres. Au lieu de mettre oui, c'est incompréhensible les options. Et quand vous mettez non, c'est vous voulez pas les sous-titres. Bah là vous mettez non, c'est oui les sous-titres quoi. Voulez-vous les sous-titres? Non. Ah bah je vous les donne. On est encore dans les Alpes. Donc encore désolé pour le début, mais... Là, je pouvais pas savoir qu'en mettant oui, c'était non. C'était non pour les sous-titres. Et ça m'a l'a fait pour le mode fenêtré, parce que moi je joue en fenêtré. Et le mode fenêtré, pour mettre le mode fenêtré, fallait que je mette non pour avoir le mode fenêtré. Alors que si je mettais oui, ça me laissait en plein écran.
Hands up!
I don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
You're funny, but you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Ok, donc là, maintenant, on comprend ce qu'ils disent. Donc on va reposer les mêmes questions.
What's your name, boy?
My name is Matthew Miller,
And where are you from, Matthew Miller?
from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. But my mom and I live in England now. She's taking care of some rich old lady. We're on our way to Venice at the moment. We're taking a cruise on a big ship.
Impressive.
Donc oui, on est dans les Alpes. Ils se rendent à Venise.
I've spent my entire life in Switzerland.
Must be really boring.
Donc oui, on est en Suisse. Ils adorent les Alpes suisses, hein, dans ces jeux comme ça. Je sais pas pourquoi, mais... Alors, les Alpes, c'est bien. Hein. Après, ils aiment bien les trains, là-bas. Ils sont toujours ils sont jamais en retard.
It's the Raven. He was gunned down, so now I need a pistol.
Dead birds don't need guns. Nor do live ones.
You don't know who the Raven is, do you? He's the greatest burglar ever. He stole paintings from the Louvre, and those priceless eggs with gold and diamonds and stuff. And Bobby Dobbs says he replaced the crown jewels with rhinestones.
I know who the Raven was. Although, I don't quite buy that bit about the crown jewels.
Hop, on lui demandait le cambriolage à Londres.
No, these days there are thieves far more dangerous than your old Raven. 2 days ago, a precious ruby was stolen from the British Museum. There was an explosion. A guard was severely injured.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what the papers say?
You talk too much, Constable.
Zellner, monsieur. Anton Jakob Zellner.
Or did he pull a gun on you?
No, monsieur.
Get a move on.
Inspector Legrand, it's a great honor to work with a celebrity like you.
We appreciate the support of the Swiss police, but it'd be better if you'd remain seated and keep an eye on things.
But, monsieur, surely I can be of assistance, somehow. I saw a safe being loaded.
We have everything under control. If you'll excuse me, I'll be in the first freight car at the back of the train for the rest of the trip.
I'm not here to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I am a good observer, and I have finally honed powers of deduction.
Thanks to that?
I watched the people on the platform in Zurich. I know, for example, that man over there is a violinist.
That would be more impressive if there weren't a violin case next to him.
And I believe that the gentleman in the next carriage is a German doctor on his way to Italy to take up a new position.
And what gives you that idea?
There's the rod of Asclepius engraved on his cufflink. And he's carrying a German-Italian dictionary.
Maybe he's just taking a holiday in Italy, following in Goethe's footsteps.
Too much luggage. And no, he's not retiring to Italy either. The suitcases are too shabby for me to believe that he can afford to retire in his late 50s.
All right then, Constable...
Zellner.
Constable Zellner. If you're such a clever fellow, what am I doing on this train?
Garde quelque chose.
I think you're guarding something.
Oh really? And what might it be?
On va lui dire peu importe ce qu'il y a dans le coffre.
Really couldn't say. But it must be very important.
Why is that?
Because you are very important. They wouldn't have assigned the case to you if it were just a trifle.
Let's assume that we really are transporting something very important on this train. And let's assume that it really is my job to see that it arrives safely. Then why isn't the train crawling with police?
Pas attirer l'attention.
You don't want to arouse attention.
Évident, but why not?
There are enough police on this train as it is. If there were more, they'd only get in each other's way.
I can assure you that I'd pack every seat in every carriage of this train with police, if it were a matter of deterrence.
You're saying you don't want to scare off potential thieves? Ah, you're laying a trap.
That would explain why it's just me and not the army, n'est-ce pas? All the same, I can't comment on your speculation. Well, that is impressive, I admit. But the fewer people involved, the better. We'll get along fine without you.
You won't.
Won't? Pardonnez-moi.
I can help, and I will help. You're in my country, and I've been ordered to assist you. And that's exactly what I'll do, whether you like it or not.
Clever and stubborn. Your commitment speaks volumes, Zana. But this is my show, and I don't need you. Bon voyage.
But how do you know? Oh, hello.
You cheated.
I did what?
I saw you talking to the German doctor on the platform. He told you everything himself, and you were just pretending to put 2 and 2 together.
And what of it? Do you know who that is? That's Inspector Nicholas Legrand. You have to impress him if you want to work with
Ah, c'est un
him.
français.
I'm going to tell on you.
You'd really tell
C'est pour ça qu'il parlait français.
to the very policeman who shot your dear Raven?
Whoa, it was him?
Mm-hmm. Hunted and killed Europe's most famous burglar. That's how he got his start.
I won't tell him a thing.
I wouldn't either. All right, Matthew. I have to do my work now.
Everyone calls me Matt. Well, except for my mom. She calls me Maddie, as if I were a little kid.
Whether Legrand wants my help or not, I'll keep my eyes open. Maybe I can change his mind.
Donc, des explications sur le comment du jeu, oui, on va les découvrir, parce que chaque point and click a ses particularités. Donc, après, c'est pour examiner un objet, cliquez simplement dessus, cliquez sur le papier, papier de sandwich posé sur la table.
I thought I wouldn't be hungry because of all the excitement. Thankfully, I bought a sandwich with me anyway.
Quand à la souris, c'est pas bien, non. Prendre le papier de sandwich. D'accord, donc au début, il y a peut-être des objets où il va falloir cliquer dessus pour savoir ce que c'est, et après on... vers le bas de l'écran. D'accord, ok. Là, c'était vers le bas. Tout à l'heure, je cherchais les options et les trucs, c'est par là. On peut utiliser le papier de sandwich avec 2 objets placés sur le trognon de pomme pour récupérer là. Voilà. Il n'y a pas eu d'animation qui l'ont...
I wrapped the apple core in the sandwich paper. That way I can carry it without making a mess of my trouser pocket. Still, I'd prefer not to have to carry them all day.
Dans l'inventaire avec clic gauche sur la serviette en papier puis... On va faire un clic gauche sur la serviette en bas. Ah, sur la serviette en papier. J'ai pas vu que c'était une serviette en papier, je croyais que c'était une flèche. Merde.
The napkin came with a croissant I bought at the train station. A guilty pleasure. I don't need that either.
Ça, c'est la table de Zelda.
Every table has its own waste basket. Practical. No need to ever leave your seat. Every table.
Il faut que je le prenne. Ah, c'est pas une... moi je voyais ça, une poubelle, je croyais qu'il y avait un truc. Là. J'ai pas eu le temps de lire ce qu'il y avait marqué parce que j'allais dire, oui, pour moi une poubelle c'est un truc, c'est pas un cendrier quoi. En fait là c'est un cendrier où en fait les personnes du train récupèrent les déchets et les jettent quoi.
The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and he's traveling through the most beautiful mountain landscape in the world. One can only hope that his violin is better tuned than he. The Vicarage in the Mirror, a detective novel by my favorite author, Lady Clarissa Westmacott. For years now, I've been trying to convince my theater group to stage one of her plays.
On va aller parler au violoniste, tiens.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
If I'm not mistaken, you're a violinist.
That's true.
A wonderful instrument. The violin music touches the soul.
That's why I learned to play it.
Do you play in an orchestra?
No, orchestras aren't really part of my world.
A solo violinist. The best soloists travel a great deal and make a pile of money, or so they say.
In that case, I'm probably not one of the best.
Où se
Are you
rend-il?
traveling to Istanbul non-stop?
No. I'll transfer in Venice to a ship. I'm on my way to Cairo.
Cairo?
I'm performing at the reception in the Egyptian Museum there.
Ok.
I'm sure your recital will be a great success. But tell me, did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Anything unusual?
Persons acting suspiciously, for instance.
For heaven's sake, is there cause for concern?
Everything is in order, sir. We Swiss are just very cautious people.
I understand. No, I didn't notice anything.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Ok.
Very kind of you. Thanks. Oh, pardon me.
No problem. The uniform is waterproof. Mr.
Lucian. Professor Edgar Lucian.
Oh, a professor. Are you a scientist? Do you teach at the Sorbonne?
No, I work at the British Museum in London.
You don't say.
Ah.
So you were, shall we say, an eyewitness to the burglary 2 days ago?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no?
Well, there was a lot of commotion, but I didn't really pay much attention to it.
There was a break-in in your museum, and it didn't concern you?
Well, let's just say that nothing that's happened in the last 2,000 years concerns me.
Whatever you say. The famous Inspector Legrand is on this train. I imagine you know him.
No, should I?
You don't know him? And you also don't know what he's doing here?
No. Why should I?
Just a thought. You're a representative of the British Museum. There's a guarded safe on the train.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to imply. And now, please excuse me.
Donc on lui parlait.
Ask where you are going.
Of course. To Venice. I'm going to meet some colleagues there.
Oh, Venice. A beautiful city, so I'm told.
Indeed. But I really have to take my leave now.
Je vais quand même lui demander.
One more thing. Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Here? On the train? No. I can't say that I have. Although I did spend most of the time in my compartment.
Ok.
I don't want to take up any more of your valuable time, but you do understand, don't you, that what concerns me is the present, and especially the robbery at the museum.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's just, I'm in rather a hurry.
You'll get in touch if you notice anything unusual, won't you, Professor?
Of course, Constable. What's this?
What's the matter, sir?
The door. I can't open it.
Ah, we'll sort it out somehow. The compartment is locked.
But I didn't lock it. I don't even have a key. I asked the steward, he was going to bring me one, but he never came back.
Someone locked it.
Find the steward. He needs to bring me the key immediately.
Calm down, Professor. I'll see what I can do.
You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here. He doesn't make a very balanced impression. And he, of all people, isn't bothered by a robbery in his own museum.
Et en plus, il est un peu... Hors du compartiment. Là, on doit aller se trouver le steward pour savoir... Ah mais on est à l'Orient Express, c'est vrai. Mais c'est vrai, pour ça qu'il parlait d'Istanbul et tout ça. C'est vrai qu'il faisait... c'était le train qui faisait la plus longue... le plus long trajet, quoi.
I don't believe it. I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
A pleasure.
Qu'est-ce qu'elle fait ici?
I ask what you're doing here? Are you on holiday?
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my life.
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little girl. It became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you. I killed the old wretch off years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine. Are you traveling to Istanbul, Lady Westmacott?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there we will take a ship to Cairo. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund excavations in Egypt. I traveled to Egypt by ship as a young woman. And now I'm doing it again as an old woman.
I see.
Mais avant, il y avait que Venise pour aller jusqu'au Caire ou non, il y avait d'autres. Ouais, non, ouais, peut-être.
As a writer, you must be very observant. Am I right? I mean, you have to study the behavior of people around you to create the characters in your novels, don't you?
I solved the mystery of human nature a long time ago, Mr. Zellner. Since then, most people just bore me.
Really? I had the impression you were eyeing me suspiciously as I came in.
What do you want to know, Constable?
L'archéologue.
Did you notice the man who just walked into the next carriage with a cup of tea?
I did. He seemed nervous. He was waiting at the bar for the steward, and since the steward never appeared, he elected to help himself. He took 2 biscuits.
He seems pretty young, but he's already a professor at the British Museum.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to him later. Just out of courtesy, of course.
Of course.
Le violon.
Did you notice the blonde man with the violin case?
I certainly did. He introduced himself and tried to make a good impression. People like him are drawn to wealth and fame, like moths to a flame.
But his charms failed on you.
I know him by name. David Kreutzer. He was a drain on my friend's purse.
Do you think he has a money problem?
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend twice as much and complain that they have far too little.
Ok, donc ça nous donne des infos.
Keep talking. Duty calls.
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe you as you came in. You seemed so eager.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to prove myself, madam.
And this is it. Your chance.
I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big changes. as my friend Ronald likes to say.
I shall do my best.
Regardez derrière le bar, s'il y a quelque chose.
I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence.
Examiner le bloc-notes.
Which the steward writes orders. Empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much to do today. Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth. Perhaps he keeps the compartment keys in there. Locked.
No.
Where could he be? A shortwave radio. It's amazing how small these things have become in the last 10 years.
Ok, ça donne un succès. C'est tout ce qu'il y a d'autre. Un peu de musique, c'est plus rigolo la musique. Parler au docteur.
Ah, Mr.
Zelda.
Right. How can I help you?
Un suspect.
Did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or in Zurich?
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform? No. Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zellner, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. Legarde is his name, if I recall correctly.
Legrand.
At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps just to keep an eye on cash boxes.
A cash box? Like the ones you'd find in safe deposit boxes?
Precisely. And I believe we both have a good idea just what's inside.
Ok, il a l'air de savoir des choses.
I do indeed have a theory, but what's yours?
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary Eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited together in Cairo for the first time in 50 years. It does make one wonder.
Indeed.
Voyageur.
News about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were injured.
Well, one cannot execute a robbery of that scale without collateral damage. It seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward to new and spectacular coups.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
Le journal, que dit le journal?
May I borrow your newspaper?
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
You caught me out.
Here you go.
Dankeschön.
Stewart.
Something else. Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves, and didn't bother getting back on the train. If we don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He's not here doing his job. That's bad enough.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a pleasant chat, really.
Si on sort, il y a quelqu'un?
I strongly suspect that the door is locked. No, It's open.
Ah, est ouverte. Oula.
Hello? Wow.
Don't move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert. If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the yard. This is the revered Constable Zellner of the Swiss police, who obviously couldn't control his curiosity.
Non,
I
personnel.
will acknowledge that I, as a Swiss policeman, can undertake investigations in my own country.
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train as long as you're here in the freight car.
Oh, really?
Piège.
That's right. You really do want to lure someone into a trap.
That's none of your business.
Perhaps that someone recently struck in London.
And how would I bait my trap then?
With an eye? An eye on its way from Zurich to Cairo.
Someone has done his homework. Well done, Constable.
Comportement de l'archéologue.
Certain Professor Lucien on the train. He's an archaeologist from London.
And what's his story?
Well, it seems someone locked him out of his compartment.
Locked him out.
Well, yes. The door is locked and he's standing outside without a key.
Was it locked from inside?
It may have been. Do you think the locked door could be important?
Professor Lucien plays an important role in this story. Well then, Constable Zellner, be my eyes and ears on the train and see that Professor Lucien gets back into his compartment. Report back to me when you're through.
My pleasure, monsieur.
L'héritier du corbeau.
Do you know of this Raven's heir?
He tried to blow me up.
Robert, we don't know who we're dealing with yet.
In any event, the new Raven is a more dangerous man than the old one.
How do you know it's a man? It could just as easily be a woman.
Or several men.
And anyway, how do you know that it's a new Raven?
Monsieur,
Never mind.
I go attend to the door now.
Good. And Constable Zellner,
Yes?
don't bother us unless you have something new to report.
Of course. A thief might get anxious if there's too much activity in the freight car.
Exactement. Knock twice. Then we'll know that it's you.
Understood. An
Okay.
investigation on behalf of the brand that takes me one step closer. If I can convince him of my competence, I might even be able to see this case through to the end.
Donc... Stewart n'est pas là. On est dans la voiture, c'est peut-être il est peut-être à l'avant. Je suis pas allé vers l'avant, j'aurais peut-être dû aller.
This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond this door, and in front of it, the engine. Professor Lucien?
Yes? Do you have the key?
Actually, I wanted to.
Please. I have to go back to my compartment.
Bon.
Maybe if I just suck it. Who would have thought that one day butterscotch would remind me of my age and of all the things I had to leave behind? I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock.
Bout de câble.
I don't need the pad, but the pencil.
Le... Quoi ça? Ah, c'est... Crayon pour projeter le tiroir? Bon. Alors il faudrait un truc. Comment il veut. Là il faudrait le crocheter pour lui. Faut que je trouve des trucs là.
When I scratch the pencil's lead with the scissors, I get fine graphite powder. I won't get a Nobel Prize for the idea, but graphite powder will bring out fingerprints at a pinch.
Et paire de... Ah, je veux qu'il y ait un ciseau. Des ciseaux, pardon.
Uses the scissors on hard to open packages. These days nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague recently told me about dry powdered soup in small bags. I couldn't believe it. I need a bit. I'll leave this.
Et la paire de ciseaux.
John Sitke's won the Formula One World Championship for the first time on Saturday. He also won the World Championship in motorcycle racing from 1956 to 1960, making him the only man in motorsports to win World Championships in both motorcycle and Formula One events. Not really my cup of tea. Too loud, too fast, too much exhaust. A story about the upcoming Oscars and Cleopatra's chances of winning. An incredible feat. They built the largest movie set of all time in Rome, and because of the main actress's many illnesses, several changes of director and months of delays, costs shot to over $40 million. The most expensive movie ever made. A record never to be broken.
Ils essayent de rester quand même aussi dans l'histoire de normale, même si c'est un truc qui est romancé, il se base sur l'histoire.
Let's see if there's any news. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx, one of two priceless jewels, extraordinary pure ruby, 2000 BC, etc., etc. Old news. And here, shocking burglary. Professional thieves surprised by museum guard Charles Langley and Constable Robert Oliver of Scotland Yard. Explosion. Constable Robert Oliver from Scotland Yard. He was there when the first eye was stolen. Now he's guarding the second one.
Okay.
Luna's Drops. The calming herbal liqueur for women. A glass a day. It relaxes the nerves and maintains domestic tranquility. Luna's Drops. If you don't want to bother your husband.
Ok, arrêtez la lecture, donc... J'essaye de... Non. Rien d'autre? L'air d'avoir rien d'autre. Bon. Par contre, on va prendre le livre, mais par contre, il est où le gamin? Il y avait un gamin tout à l'heure.
Should I ask for an autograph? That would be quite unprofessional. But on the other hand...
Ouais, il est passé où le gamin? Ah, il doit être dans... c'est peut-être...
Perhaps a thoughtful conductor noticed that Professor Lucien wasn't in his compartment and locked it.
Ok, il y a une hache là. Voilà. Le roman.
Lady Westmacott.
Yes?
I was wondering if you might,
Sign your book, Constable Zellner?
if it isn't too much of an inconvenience.
Of course it's an inconvenience, but only a small one. You are welcome.
Thank you so very much.
On va lui reparler parce que c'est vrai qu'elle nous donne des infos.
Excuse me, Lady Westmacott.
Constable Zellner, how can I help you?
C'est vrai que j'ai pas parlé à l'autre.
Coming back to the other passengers again, did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone, except for the inspector who went in the direction of the freight car a few minutes ago. Isn't that the Frenchman who made his name when he caught the Raven?
I wouldn't quite say caught.
Well, shot. Why don't you ask me about him and my theory about what he's doing here?
I don't think we should discuss Inspector Legrand's investigation in public.
Legrand, right, that was his name. Will he save the day again? Or will you, Constable?
Another time. Farewell, Lady Westmacott.
Constable?
Ok.
Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmacott from me, a pushy admirer. Very diligent. But she does seem a little nervous and tense. I imagine she has her work cut out for her with Matt. And a difficult bus, from what they say.
Il parlait.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
The little boy, Matt, he's your son?
Oh, yes. Has he done something?
No, I've already met him. Clever little fellow.
We always call him Professor because he's so precocious. If only someone could just drive the mischief out of him.
On lui
Did
demandait.
you notice anything unusual on the train?
Oh, I'm afraid not. I was totally focused on my work.
She's always got an awful lot to do, my Mary.
You have to tell me if that's not all right with you.
Good Lord, child. Knit as much as you want.
So, nothing out of the ordinary.
No, Constable.
Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
Regardez que derrière.
I
Coupe le lien.
let him read his newspaper if I...
Il est où le steward? Examiner la boîte.
A box with a padlock. I suppose it contains tools for the train's crew, maybe for coupling and uncoupling the cars. At any rate, it's positioned so that it's easier to reach from the ground than from up here. Locked.
Bang, bang!
Uh-huh.
Don't move!
Matt, have you gone mad?
I'll shoot! Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a ghost.
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too. One just flew past the window.
Yes, sure. Now get moving.
Oh, man.
Donc là on a le flingue. Est-ce qu'on peut faire ça? Genre, ouais. Qu'est-ce qui se les empâte là du gamin?
The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be able to open it without a key. The
Terminer
ladder
l'échelle.
goes up to the roof. It will be suicidal to climb up there while the train is at full speed. The wind, tunnels, No, I'll stay down here.
Je vais pas rentrer, on va aller par là.
Oh, Constable?
Yes, ma'am.
My son didn't make any trouble for you, I hope. It's just that he just walked past us, silent and seething. That's usually a sign that someone's laid down law.
I'm afraid so. He played a trick on me, a rather dangerous one. The lad left me no choice but to take away his wooden pistol as a punishment.
I understand. And thank you. Maddie is a very lively child. Sometimes he needs a strong fatherly hand.
Where is Matt's father, if I may ask?
He's gone.
Ah, I understand.
Could you, leave Maddie's pistol here, perhaps? So you don't have to bother with it?
Of course. I told him he wouldn't get it back until Venice.
Very well. Thank you again, Constable.
Il y a ça sur la porte, non? Non, je vais pas lire le journal, je juste pensais que je pourrais l'utiliser pour lui donner. Tu veux des caramels, non? Caché. Bon. Ah, hop. Vous pouvez faire ça?
Yes, what is it?
Whoever that is, James, ask them whether they found my purse and then close the door. The noise on this train is driving me crazy.
Porte-bonnet perdu.
Missing a purse. Was it stolen?
At the very least, I cannot find it, sir.
It was stolen.
Peut-être le portefeuille qu'on a.
When was the last time the Baroness saw her purse?
What?
In Zurich, on the platform, sir.
I just asked where you last saw your purse.
In Zurich on the platform. James, tell him that I still had it when I got out to stretch my legs.
The Baroness says...
Maybe you lost it there.
What?
The Baroness never loses anything, sir.
I never lose anything.
Very well then. I shall be on the lookout for your purse. If I might ask you a few questions about your fellow passengers.
I thought he was looking for my purse. James, tell him to look for my purse.
The Baroness wishes that you search for her purse.
But couldn't we perhaps... All right. First, the purse.
Un portefeuille.
I will have a look around.
Thank you, sir.
Ça doit être ce qu'on a sur nous, hein, portefeuille. Vraiment.
The Baroness seems to have... I better not bother her until I...
Je sais pas, j'ai un portefeuille, c'est celui-là. Comment j'examine les portefeuilles? Ah non, c'est le sien, d'accord.
I suppose the previous owner bought himself a newer one. This one still works just fine, though. First, I better see about getting... Doesn't seem like a...
Parlez au gamin.
Hello, Matt. Oh, come on. Are you going to be angry with me for the rest of the trip?
Until I get my pistol back.
I gave it to your mother.
Oh man, couldn't you have just raked me over the coals?
Would you have learned anything from that?
I didn't learn anything from this either.
Come Come on, Matt. Did you really think that you can ignore me for longer than I can ignore you? I'm Swiss. It's practically a national sport. Matt is digging in his... I won't get anything out of him as long... If I may trouble you once more... passenger is missing her purse. Perhaps you've seen it.
So, there are thieves on the train.
It's been missing for some time now. Probably since Zurich.
The Swiss don't let go of money easily, do they? Oh, pardon me. No, I haven't seen the purse.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
La blague sur les Suisses.
First, I better see. It doesn't seem like I'll get anything. Excuse me, Lady Westmacott.
Constable Zellner, how can I help you?
Porte-monnaie dur.
His purse has gone missing. I suppose you haven't seen it.
I'm sorry, Constable Zellner. As you know, I only deal with murder, not burglary.
Have you asked my boy yet? Maddie is good at finding things.
I'll go and do that now. Another time. Farewell, Lady Westmacott.
Constable?
I think it's uncomfortable for her when I talk to her, although she's just knitting. Taking up a craft like that is typical of...
Ok, il a dit que son gamin il pouvait aider, mais on va quand même demander à lui.
Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
Ah, Mr. Zellner.
I meant to ask, the Baroness is missing her purse.
A baroness? This train is really full of the creme de la creme. The queen of crime is over there, and now a baroness as well.
Have you seen the purse?
Unfortunately, no. Do you know Lady Westmacott? You were talking to her.
Well, I'm an admirer of her work.
Like so many others. I once read in the newspaper that only Shakespeare and the Bible sell more copies than her crime novels.
I read that.
She must be filthy rich. As a doctor, I'd have to work 1,000 years to earn that kind of money.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a pleasant chat, really.
C'est vrai qu'à une époque, les docteurs, c'était pas trop ça, quoi. Ils vivaient tranquille. Maintenant, ça dépend. Ça dépend. Alors, on va aller voir le gamin. Ah, on va peut-être lui... Ah, attends. Peut-être lui donner les caramels, tiens, pour ce... Ah. Ah oui, déduction, tiens les gamins, bouffe tes bonbons là. Ah.
Would you like a butterscotch?
You think you can bribe me?
I have no reason to. You made trouble and got punished for it. Take it as a peace offering.
Just 4?
If I'm faster than you, there'll only be 3.
Hey!
Friends again?
Mm-hmm.
All right then. And no dangerous nonsense anymore.
Okay.
Alors, on va lui poser des questions.
Mother is Lady Westmacott's companion, correct?
Yeah, but it's not like you think. At first I thought, boy, you must be really wicked if you need to pay for friends. But the lady's really okay. A bit odd and really old. But other than that, she's great. She likes me.
The lady has peculiar taste.
Hey!
You and your mother, do you both live on Lady Westmacott's estate?
I'm only there for the holidays. Most of the time I'm at boarding school.
I imagine that's not very pleasant.
No, it's fine. I have friends there. You always have to be so quiet in the lady's house. And I'm not allowed to bring any friends.
Such a big house with so many places to hide, and no one to play hide and seek with.
You said it.
And how long has your mother worked for the lady?
2 years.
And your father? What does he do?
He stayed home. I used to go fishing with him. And hunting. He even let me shoot a real gun.
And then?
Then Mom fought with him. And he left. I was 7.
Ok.
Oh. And And how old?
Poser toutes les questions.
In 8 months, I'll be 9 years old.
And do you already know what you want to be when you grow up? A burglar?
No, we'll see. Maybe an actor.
Really? Well, I don't know. You need a lot of talent for that. I'm an actor in a theater group, you know?
You are?
Oh, yes. And I'm one of the best in our group, if I may say so. I get really deep into my roles, you know? I don't just talk like the character. I think like him. I become him. It's the only way to... Matt, are you okay?
I think you just have to be good at copying things to be an actor.
That wasn't bad. But not bad.
Il fait croire qu'il était pas bien.
The Baroness in the second compartment over there is missing her purse. Do you have any idea where it could be?
Do I ever? That guy over there with the violin case?
What about it?
He picked up something in Zurich and put it in his violin case.
Really?
Yeah, and he made sure that nobody saw him.
But you saw him.
Uh-huh.
Did you also see what it was?
Nah, not really. But now that I think of it, it must have been the Baroness's purse.
I should look into it, shouldn't I?
I think so.
Le steward, est-ce qu'il sait quelque chose?
Have you seen the steward anywhere?
No. He was walking around a little while ago, though.
Hopefully they didn't forget him in Zurich.
What's he supposed to do?
I'm looking for a key to open a compartment door.
Did you check his things behind the counter?
I'm sure the drawers will be locked.
Can't you break it open? Or pick the lock like the Raven?
Perhaps. But I'd need a piece of wire or something like that.
Ask my mom. She has a lot of hairpins. She doesn't
Ah bah oui, putain, je suis con.
her hair.
Thanks for the tip. So long.
So longer.
Par contre, là, lui, c'est bien parce qu'en fait, il va falloir parler aux gens pour avoir des infos, pour savoir comment ouvrir le truc, savoir qui a pris quoi. Ah oui, là, il est un peu plus costaud, ça. Et là, c'est attachant. Les personnages sont sympathiques, quoi. On pensait à des trucs comme on passait à comme les romans d'Agatha Christie, des choses comme ça, quoi. On va lui parler.
Excuse me, sir. About the purse.
Ah, yes? Has it been found?
Someone saw you with your violin case on the platform in Zurich.
What's the meaning of this? I didn't steal anything.
Nobody said you did. I just wanted to ask you whether you might have noticed anything on the platform.
Ah, well...
Why did you think I was accusing you?
Well, I thought... because you mentioned my violin case in the context of the purse.
Apropos, may I have a look at your violin? It must be a very extraordinary piece.
Oh, that's not possible. It's a genuine Guarnetti.
Very valuable.
Very. And also very sensitive.
What could harm it here? Light? Air? May I ask you to open the violin case?
No, you may not. I'm not guilty of anything.
I'm afraid I have to insist.
Then I'm afraid you need a warrant. I will not stand back and let you rifle through my belongings.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
On va lui prendre ses empreintes. Hein. Non, en fait, apparemment, quand on a une action, c'est direct. Voilà. Par exemple, les caramels, il faut les donner aux gamins. Bah, ça y est.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Lui demander l'épingle à cheveux.
Excuse my unusual request, but Matt said you have some hairpins. Could I borrow one?
One of my hairpins?
It's a long story. It would be a big help.
Well, if you really need one.
Go ahead, Mary. The constable won't do it any harm. Will you, Mr. Zellner?
Of course not,
madam.
Is this one okay?
It'll do nicely, madam. How very kind of you. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
Ok. En fait, c'est un peu un travail d'enquêteur, là. Donc en fait les deux personnages que j'ai, c'est lui, c'est Zelda, et là c'est de l'autre côté, c'est le grand. Je l'ai un peu mal refait. Là on va passer derrière le bar. On va aller prendre l'épingle à cheveux pour crocheter la serrure.
It's me who's the thief on the train. Oops, that was easier than expected.
Ok.
Batteries, a toothbrush, shaving brush, but not the key to the compartment door. Just this one. Too small for the door, but it might still be useful.
Ah, c'est peut-être celle qui est du machin qui est à l'extérieur là-bas. On a la clé du... petite clé pour... voilà. Grosse banque qu'on a vue.
That's it. There we go. This should help.
Donc là on a récupéré quoi? Une pince. Pince. Ouvrez la porte. On va essayer d'ouvrir. Ah ouais, ouais. Si on peut faire une action, c'est que c'est avec ça.
I bet I could really get a grip on the boat with these.
Well, come on then, hurry up.
Hello?
I barely left the window ajar.
Nothing to see. Are you okay?
Yes, fine.
Porte verrouillée.
Do you have any idea why the door was locked?
I don't know. Maybe the constant vibrations caused the lock to lock itself.
You can't possibly believe that.
Well, then what's your theory?
The conductor could have locked it from the outside. On the other hand, it could have been someone here in the compartment who locked the door from the inside.
Who? And where have they gone?
They could have climbed out there.
Who would be that insane?
You tell me, Professor.
Est-ce qu'il y a des objets de valeur?
What are you hiding in your bag? What do you have that would be worth stealing?
No, nothing.
No valuables?
Certainly not. Not on my salary.
It was enough for a first-class compartment on a luxury train.
That's my business.
You're playing a dangerous game, Professor Lucien.
Respecté.
I'd like to look around a bit.
Of course.
Expiré là.
No, nothing
Okay.
interesting.
Et livre.
Grimm's Fairy Tales, Moby Dick, and gin, whiskey, and rum. All classics. I really wonder what the professor is hiding from me, but I can't just rifle through the luggage of innocent citizens. This is the 60s. Wow, you have a very nice fountain pen. Pricey.
If you'd managed to decode hieroglyphics that boggled the best minds of the last 3,000 years, you'd have received a gift like that as well.
Habiter la fenêtre.
Assuming there really was someone in the compartment, and he climbed out the window, where's he gone?
Tout ce qu'on peut voir.
Professor Lucien?
Yes?
Godspeed, Professor Lucien.
Thanks.
The good professor is hiding something. It would be good if I could find out more about him.
Ah, il est un peu étrange. professeur.
All right, Matt. Tell me now. The violinist won't let me check his violin case.
Of course he won't. He's hiding something. Try to distract him, then you can have a look in his case.
Ah bah oui.
What do you suggest?
I could tell him there's a suitcase full of money in the next carriage. If he's a thief, he'll definitely want to take a look at it.
I don't think he'll fall for that.
Or I could insult him and then run away. He'll try to catch me, and you'll have a chance to look in that violin case.
Now that I think about it, this is something I have to attend to on my own. It would be expecting a bit much from a little boy.
Little boy? You must be kidding.
Sorry, Sheriff. But your idea about distracting him is good all the same. So long.
So longer.
Et on lui donnait le portefeuille. Non. Caché, non.
I've no idea.
Et non. On lire le journal.
The violinist is uncooperative. I'm not authorized to search. I have to come up with. I think the violin. But to be sure, how can I do that?
Je peux pas faire des emprunts.
Pardon me, sir. We could have used you a few minutes ago.
C'est le steward.
Mrs.
Yes?
Goodbye, Mrs.
Goodbye.
C'était pas à l'autre.
Nothing would justify neglecting my duties.
On peut lui reprendre une épingle à cheveux.
I'll leave the scissors here. If I need.
Si c'est ça, non. Ça sur ça, non plus.
What? Someone broke off the. This could be a long trip to Istanbul.
Là c'est cassé, mais bon. D'où on peut rien faire d'autre. Okay.
I'd better let him read. Inspector Legrand,
Anything to report?
Professor Lucien into his compartment using a pair of pliers.
Did you notice anything inside the compartment?
The window was open. Someone could have climbed out.
And the professor?
Acted suspiciously. He rummaged around in his leather bag.
And?
He seemed to have found what he was searching for.
Good. Good work.
Now, perhaps you could give me some information.
Ah.
All right. We should. What? The light's gone out.
Encore, j'ai lancé.
Ah, get off me.
There, sir. An envelope.
My dear Nico, you should take a closer look at the box.
What the dickens?
Ouais, en anglais c'est R, nous c'est C, parce que Corbeau.
It's
away with it! Take cover!
Ah. Par contre, le steward, était un peu bizarre.
Oh dear. Oh. Is everyone all right? Are you hurt?
Peut-être le steward qui a piqué la...
Quick thinking. Well done, Zellner.
I think the tunnel collapsed.
Then he's trapped. Hurry, we have to lock the second exit.
Sir, there's a fire up ahead. The engine's burning.
It's a distraction. Hurry, block the exit.
But sir...
The fire will consume all the oxygen.
He's right, Inspector. A fire in a narrow tunnel is extremely dangerous.
Merde. Go to the front of the train, find the engineer, and tell him to move the train out of the tunnel.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? You have to uncouple the freight car. You understand?
I understand.
I'll see to the passengers. They should all wait in the tunnel. We'll check each one in turn as they go out.
Let's get to it.
Ok, donc sortir... Examiner les dégâts.
The tunnel may very well have collapsed. It's difficult to see much because of the darkness and dust, but something certainly crushed the rear of the freight car. The inspector's trap failed. The thief must have got wind of it. Worse than that, he turned the tables. To win a game of cat and mouse, you have to know who is the cat and who is the mouse. It's still quite warm and too warped to open.
Descendre du train.
I'm sure I could uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing.
Pas de lampe. En plus, on a tout perdu. Donc on n'a pas retrouvé le portefeuille. Ça devait être une genre de quête.
It's but I'll have to uncouple it if.
Ok, donc je dois trouver un moyen de...
My God, what a fire! I hope Constable Oliver can at least reach the engine.
On peut avancer. On peut avancer. Ouais. Et on n'y voit pas grand chose.
Oh, pardon me. I did not mean to scare you.
What are you doing here, Doctor?
Legrand asked me to check whether there are any passengers left on the train.
Really? No one is here, except for me and you.
Excellent. Then I will continue searching at the front.
Tu peux me donner...
Did anyone act suspiciously before the explosion? Did anyone leave their seat, for example?
I was the only one on the train who wasn't seated when the freight car exploded. Thank God. Otherwise, I would have been caught by the blast as well.
You certainly were lucky.
Perhaps I was. What happened over there? The inspector said something about gas canisters that exploded.
C'est une bombe.
He didn't want to scare you. The truth is, it was a bomb meant to kill him and the Bobby.
My God. An attack? But who would...
The investigations are ongoing, but first we have to get the burning train out of the tunnel.
Oh, of course.
Qu'en est-il des voyageurs?
They are in a state of shock, of course. The blackout and the sudden stop were frightening enough, but then the explosion, the dust, everyone rushed for the exits. I was helping the American woman bring Lady Westmacott to safety. They are waiting outside in the tunnel. One entrance is blocked by a fire, and the other one seems to have collapsed.
Continue to search the train. I'll decouple the buried freight car.
All right.
Doctor? Can you give me a few matches?
Oh, certainly.
Thanks. I'll meet you outside.
Do hurry.
Je pense que si on le fait en ligne droite, ça va être facile parce que chaque fois il va falloir passer à l'un. Et si là j'ai pas fait la mission de donner la truc à la baronne, peut-être elle nous aurait donné des infos, peut-être pas. Est-ce que je peux faire prendre les allumettes et descendre du toit?
There's a noticeable draft here. Maybe it's because of the fire, or perhaps there's still a hole through which the air is coming. The latter will be quite welcome. It will buy us some more time. I can feel, but I can't do more without light.
Il faut que je sorte de l'autre côté, c'est ça?
Hello? Nothing.
Qu'on examine.
Wheels came off the track during the explosion. Even if it were possible to pull the car out of the rubble, you wouldn't get far with it.
Ok. Peut-être que j'avance. Prendre le rideau. Okay. J'ai mis ça, c'était direct prendre le rideau. Peut-être pour se prémunir donc, du vent là, du truc.
Okay, I'll smear some grease on the curtain.
Ah bah oui. Alors je peux faire ça. Non, je peux pas faire ça. J'aurais trouvé un morceau de bois, je pense. Peut-être il faut que je trouve un morceau de bois pour faire une genre de torche.
Can't see anything up. Whiskey, scotch, rum, liqueurs, enough to entertain everyone on the train all the way from Paris to Istanbul. High-proof rum could be useful.
On va faire un cocktail Molotov.
Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight.
Progresseux. Voir avec. Ouais. Pourquoi ça marche pas? Ça dit bien de faire ça.
I bought it last week, second hand. It was... Even if I could set the fabric alight, how would...
J'ai...
Concentrate on uncoupling the freight car.
Ah, la chaise. On a un pied de chaise pour faire un...
The chair either fell over thanks to the sudden stop, or an escaping passenger knocked it over. Wanting to get off the train as quickly as possible after a sudden stop and a massive tremor, that's understandable. It's not bothering me.
Une chaise cassée. On peut pas, y a pas autre chose. On peut pas entrer dans la voiture suivante.
I don't see Legrand or the constable, but I can make out the silhouettes of some of the passengers. They seem to be unscathed. All the same, the fire is getting bigger, and I don't have much time.
Mais tu veux pas, je lui demande de là. Vidéo gracieux.
Champagne, the finest. Maybe we'll open a bottle if we get out of the tunnel alive. Until then, though, it's no use to me. Carling Black Label, a British beer. No good. Insufficient alcohol content. For practical purposes, I mean, not for drinking.
C'est tout.
The other passengers escaped from the train. If I don't hurry up and Rum from Austria. Believe it or not. Rum from Austria. I expect the rum will burn like ethanol, but I better not test that theory.
Oui, mais je...
Even if I could set the fabric alight, how would I carry...
je peux le transporter, non? Le rideau, je peux le mettre dans le... Non? Ça marche pas, pourquoi ça...
I expect the grease from the coupling is all over the curtain. It'll never be clean again. Rum from Austria. There's a pretty intense draft here. The fire is sucking up the oxygen.
Je veux bien, mais on peut pas mettre la... Pas du tout là ce qu'il faut que je fasse. Alors il faut que je fasse quand on y voit. Oui, il est éteint.
A lot was damaged by the sudden stop, but the bowl was thick enough to survive the fall.
Ah. J'avais pas vu qu'il y avait un bol par terre. J'ai cliqué au hasard. D'accord.
filled the bowl about a third of the way with rum. Phew, strong stuff. Just as I expected, the alcohol burns with an almost invisible flame. The temperature at the tip of the flames from the alcohol should be high enough to set fire to the oil and grease on the curtain, and thus the curtain as well. But if it works, I better not be holding it in my bare hands. I should
Ou un moyen de mettre le rideau. La chaise, y a pas un truc que je peux...
The chair either fell over. Warning. It's not bothering me.
J'ai dû prendre un petite chaise pour pour en faire une torche. Pour moi, il a pas l'air de vouloir le jeu. Succès qui... Non. Alors.
There's a pretty in...
Il y a des trucs que j'ai ratés. Attends, il y a quoi? Oui, il y a des trucs. Des clés. On il y avait un autre... Juste remonter.
Pills for my heart. I'm supposed...
Là, on n'y voit rien. J'aille où là?
The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. The temperature at the tip of... But if it works, I better not be... The chair either fell over. Warning to... It's not bothering... The chair either fell over. Warning...
Ça nous ramène direct après. Des choses au sol là, par la chaîne. Attends. C'était regarder l'extérieur par la fenêtre, non? Examiner l'extincteur, voilà.
I noticed the extinguisher earlier. Doesn't match the decor. I suppose that the railway company had to comply with safety regulations at the cost of aesthetics. It'd be useless against the fire out there, and it's too cumbersome to carry around. At best, I can use it here.
Quoique non, c'est du bois solide, des fois des chaises, donc ouais, c'est un peu compréhensible qu'il utilise un extincteur beaucoup plus lourd pour casser le pied de chaise. C'est vrai qu'à la main, je pense pas qu'il... Ah bon. Voilà. Une torche. Au début, je dis une torche, mais je m'attendais pas à ce qu'il faut...
I'm the god of fire.
Oh, pas du tout. Vous avez fabriqué une torche fonctionnelle. Ça, c'est le succès qui dit ça. J'ai eu un succès tout à l'heure qui disait pyromane parce que j'ai allumé 4 allumettes.
That's better now. A lever on a pressure sleeve running along a thread. Aha! I can uncouple it with this lever. Okay. Good. The coupling isn't under tension anymore. I should be able to uncouple it now. There we go. Time to get out of here.
Bon, désolé, j'ai pris du temps parce qu'il y avait 36 millions de choses à...
Listen, everybody. Listen. Robert, what's the situation?
Yeah, I couldn't find the engineer, so I got in the driver's cab myself and released the brake.
All right. Good job. You too. Listen, please.
Matty! Where's Matt? Where's my son?
Relax, madame. I'm sure...
Help! Matty! No!
On a perdu le gamin et le policier suisse.
Matt, where are you? Oh. Matt, are you there? Nothing.
Ok. Là, c'est par où on arrive. Oui, elle est là.
I suppose this handbag belongs to Miss Miller, Matt's mother. Lady...
Elle est sous la table.
Hey, there you are. What were you thinking? Bah, come out of there.
Is he gone?
Is who gone?
The man.
Quel homme?
Man.
There was a man. He was coughing.
One of the passengers?
I think he came down from the roof.
What are you doing on the train anyway? Why didn't you wait in the tunnel with the other passengers?
I wanted to get my pistol.
Your pistol?
If there's so many cops and thieves and explosions and everything, then I need a pistol too.
Makes sense. All right. First, I'll stop the train, and then we'll have a chat, okay? You want to come out? Good idea. You stay put.
Ok, on va devoir arrêter le train. Un train fou, non, parce que l'autre il a desserré con anglais. On peut aller voir ce qu'il y a dans la baronne.
I can't get in. I presume the Baroness's luggage toppled over and is blocking the door.
On va fouiller, hein, ça peut nous donner des infos.
Professor Lucien's suitcase. Unlike the leather bag, he left it behind when he fled the train with the other passengers. I don't think there's anything interesting in it. Whatever the professor is hiding. The situation is that desperate.
Le placard d'angle, voir si on
The tanks don't seem to be damaged. The water is still running.
Ok, y a pas de truc, y a pas de problème là. Pas de fenêtre, pas de truc. Et la serviette, tiens.
A large soft towel, very comfortable.
Je suis en train de me dire, mais en fait, le truc des empreintes, ça nous sert pas. Bon bah on va aller devant.
This door leads to the tender. It will be uncomfortable, no doubt, but I don't think that the flames are directly behind the door. I suppose there's a relatively safe space in the lee of the tender where one could stay a little while. I need to stop the train as quickly as possible. There's nothing I can do about the coal fire. I need to stop the train as quickly as possible. There's nothing I can do about...
Voilà, on a de la... Il y a de la flotte. Elles sont où les citernes? On lâche. Lâche.
An axe is for emergencies. If this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is.
C'est pour ouvrir la porte.
I need to stop the train.
Ok. Peut-être aller vers là.
Damn, that makes things extremely complicated. How can I stop the train? The emergency brake either was damaged in the explosion. I think I should try to uncouple the engine. I mean, how else can I stop the train? What have you got yourself into? Couldn't you have just let it be? But no, of course not. And now you're here, on an out-of-control train in the Alps, responsible for the life of a child who'll be doomed without you. What are you waiting for, eh? Time to save the day.
Bon, c'est pas par là. À chaque fois, il ressort avec ça. D'accord, et puis... on va lui rendre.
Matt, look.
Thanks.
Cover me, okay?
No problem.
Là, ok, il faut la rendre. Regardez par la fenêtre.
The engine and the coal tender are burning stronger and hotter. The airflow is feeding the flames.
I have to decouple the wagons immediately. Sooner or later, the engine will be blown apart. Jumping off is not an op.
On est avec un truc avec de l'eau, mais apparemment il veut pas.
If the emergency brake doesn't work, I'll have to try something else. Here goes.
Là, il voulait pas. Ah.
The handle is already too hot.
Oui, mais tu ouvres avec la hache.
The handle is okay. We'll do it the hard way.
Merci.
The axe works as a wedge to keep the door closed. The smoke isn't just toxic, it also contains coal particles and flying sparks. If any of it gets into my lungs or eyes, I'll be out of action.
Voilà, quand on n'est pas... on est... on n'est pas de la merde. Là, la hache nous sert plus.
I'll wrap it around my neck to keep my hands free. It's soaking up the cold water.
Est-ce que ça va nous servir à passer? Mais sur la gueule... Voilà. Est-ce que je pensais? Si c'est le même à l'avant, c'est le même à la... c'est le même partout.
It's not working. Even if I could reach the lever with my hands, I wouldn't have the strength to move it.
Hache, je pensais qu'il utiliserait la hache, mais pas qu'on soit obligé d'aller le chercher.
That should do the trick. The coupling won't release because it's under too much tension.
Ça devrait être bon là.
That's not just smoke. I can actually taste lumps of ash. It's time for my deputy sheriff's story. I uncoupled the locomotive at full speed. Not bad, eh?
Do you think we'll get in trouble?
Because of the locomotive? I don't think so. It was pretty old already. Come out so we can have a chat. I checked the entire train. There's no one on it except for us. What an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, what did you see on the train?
Well, it was like this. I wanted to get my pistol.
Ok, il nous raconte l'histoire de ce qui s'est passé. Hein? C'est le steward, ça. Il ressemble à celui qui nous a bousculé.
Achoo!
And then?
When the guy was gone, I got up and banged on the window. I wanted to get out of there, but then I thought, what if the guy can hear me from the next car? So I got scared, and I hid again.
You did well.
C'était vraiment un homme.
Are you sure it was a man?
Yeah, very sure. What else could he be?
A woman?
No. Girls can't be thieves. Girls are always honest.
If only you knew.
Okay.
Did you recognize the man? Have you met him before?
I don't think so.
Would you recognize him if you saw him again?
No. It was very dark and I was hiding.
Was he a tall man or a short man?
Just a man. I think he was a bad man.
Why do you think that?
He was sneaking around, even though everybody else was outside in the tunnel.
Maybe he just wanted to get his wooden pistol.
Oh, man.
L'enveloppe.
The envelope that the man lost. Where is it?
I thought it might be important.
I think we should have a look. Some cash. An Italian passport. Blank. Very interesting. And here, a ticket for
the cruise!
What?
The tickets we have for the big ship from Venice to Cairo look exactly the same.
Interesting. May I keep it?
What do you want to do with it?
Take a vacation.
Okay.
It's evidence.
And my chance to go with you.
The ticket and everything else in the envelope are part of my investigation. And you have no part to play in Cairo.
If I hadn't given you the envelope, you'd have no proof that the Raven's heir would be on the ship.
Ugh. The ship is his next chance to steal the eye, and he won't give up until he has it.
And that's precisely why you should let me come along.
No.
Événement dans le
What
tunnel.
else did you find out in the tunnel?
Not much. After we came out of the tunnel, Robert and I questioned the passengers.
Which didn't turn up anything new.
No, the engineer and the fireman were missing. They were found a few kilometers back on the track. Both claimed to have been overwhelmed by a shadow and thrown off the train.
But you don't believe that.
I'm checking their stories. One of them may have been paid to eliminate the other one.
How could the Raven's heir have found out about the trap? How was he able to put the dynamite in the box and place the letter?
The dynamite was probably already in the box when I put it in the safe. I didn't check it.
You had no reason to do so.
It wasn't my only mistake. I knew someone was on the roof of the freight car, but I let myself be distracted by that damned letter.
How did you know?
Too late. I should have reacted instantly.
Je vais dire que je mérite de venir.
And what about the ship? I have earned the right to join you.
What you did was extraordinary. Far more than anyone could have a right to expect from you.
And you still want to leave me behind?
Allez, le français, laisse le Suisse venir.
You escaped with your life. You may not be that lucky next time.
It wasn't luck.
You can return to Switzerland with your head held high. Enjoy your triumph.
I have not achieved anything yet. The Fiend tried to kill us, and he's still at large.
We're here.
Inspector Legrand, an urgent telegram from Paris.
Bad news?
It's about the unfortunate events on the train, and to return to Paris and explain myself.
But sir, What about the eye?
They want to inform the Egyptian authorities that there might be a burglary attempt.
Might?
Egyptian authorities? What if the jewel is stolen at sea?
I know. I never received it. Keep a close watch on the loading of the eye, Robert.
Aye, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you, Constable Zellner.
Agent.
What is the constable's problem with me?
I think he's jealous. Scotland Yard assigned him to assist me, just as you were sent by the Swiss authorities.
With the distinction that he may go to Egypt.
Robert is to accompany me at all times. Your mission was restricted to Switzerland.
At this moment, I want to be sent back to Switzerland just as much as you want to be sent back to Paris.
I know, but I'm walking on thin ice, and I can't carry you too.
Le coffre-fort.
The second eye is in that safe?
Yes, an emerald. It's been kept in a bank in Zurich since the start of the war. I personally took it out of the bank vault, and Professor Lucien certified that it was the real thing.
And while a fake jewel was sent by train,
the real one was brought here in an armored car.
How is it protected?
You can only open the safe if you have 3 special keys. Professor Lucien has one, and Baroness von Trebitz, who's paying for all this, has the second. The third was sent by air courier to Dr. Abbas Mokhtar, the director of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
So, not even you could possibly open the safe before it arrives.
C'est pour ça qu'ils allaient tous au même endroit.
We don't want to make it too easy for potential thieves.
Commendable.
Le
I
télégramme.
hope you're aware of the fact that you're risking your career.
Indeed I am.
Why do you care so much about this case? Someone pretends to be the Raven, and you promptly risk your career?
What if he's not just pretending?
What do you mean by that?
It's his handwriting. And there's only one person who ever called me Nico. Have you ever considered the possibility that I shot the wrong man?
Ah, il serait trompé de corbeau.
What do you mean by that?
Let us assume just for a moment that the person I shot and who fell from the roof was not the Raven. Who would have cared enough to uncover the truth? The chief of police, the politicians? No, they wanted to revel in a successful manhunt, and it was the best thing that could have happened to the Raven. The search for him was over. He had no reason to fear me anymore. I had so many medals afterwards that he could hear them jingling kilometers away.
And now he's back? And you're the only one who can stop him? Does that sound probable to you?
The feathers, the letters. Nico. No one outside the police force knew that the Raven used to call me that in his letters.
Policemen gossip, and there are plenty of forgers. You can't seriously intend to stake your reputation on such weak evidence.
My reputation rests on something that I probably did not do. I have to find out who's behind all this.
A proposé de l'aider.
Let's review. One of the 2 most valuable jewels in the world was stolen. Obviously, the second one will be next. And you suspect a legendary burglar who's been dead for 5 years.
Go on.
The second jewel is about to be put on board over there, in a safe that requires 3 keys. Our thief may already have the first key, the archaeologist's key, from the train. We don't know anything about the status of the second key, which was meant to be air freighted to Cairo.
We have to assume that he already has it.
Therefore, there's just 1 key left. The Baroness's.
Correct.
So, you'll need my eyes on board.
Look, you can keep your eyes open for me here on the wharf. I'd be most grateful. But when this ship sets sail, you will not, I repeat, not be on board.
But, Inspector...
We're dealing with a dangerous man, and I will pursue him regardless of the consequences. I won't let you get mixed up in this affair.
It's still my decision.
No, it's not. It's mine, and I've already made it. Good day, Constable Zellner.
Gros bâtard. Ok, allez, on va s'arrêter là-dessus. On va sauvegarder. Et donc là, ça, si je charge, c'est au bon endroit. Ok, c'est la sauvegarde auto, sinon c'est ça. Ok, c'est... Ok, ça sauvegarde automatiquement. En fait, quand on entend le petit bruit comme quelqu'un qui écrit sur une feuille, ben c'est... Ben, on a sauvegardé là. Oui. Donc, bah, ça a l'air intéressant. Ça fait très truc Agatha Christie, toutes choses comme ça, quoi. Là. Sauf que là, c'est pas Hercule Poirot, qui est belge, hein. Pas français. Là, c'est un Suisse et un Français, par contre. Là, oui. Le grand et Zellner. L'autre, il veut pas trop parce que... bon... Il veut pas se mettre... il veut pas avoir quelqu'un en plus. Parce qu'apparemment, il a un policier de Scotland Yard. C'est ça qui me fait... c'est vrai, je me suis jamais renseigné pourquoi ils appelaient ça Scotland Yard. Parce que Scotland, pour moi, c'est l'Écosse. Parce que c'est des Écossais. Sachant que les Écossais n'aiment pas beaucoup les Anglais. Pour des raisons... pour plein de raisons. Anciennes comme récentes. C'est pour ça que ça fait des années qu'ils demandent une indépendance, et depuis que, justement, je vais un peu parler politique, mais depuis que le Royaume-Uni a quitté l'Europe, l'Écosse voudrait la réintégrer. Et donc quitter le Royaume-Uni. Et bon, voilà, c'est plus compliqué que ça. Mais là, l'histoire du jeu se passe dans les années 60, donc rien à voir. Aussi, c'est les années 50, l'Union Européenne, donc ouais, il y a déjà partie de l'Union Européenne. Déjà de fait. Mais la Suisse n'y est pas. Ce sera jamais. Je crois il y a eu des pourparlers pour qu'ils l'intègrent dans les années 90, mais ça... Ils ont mis ça sur le côté. Ah, faut chaque qu'il s'en aille. Donc bah, ça tombe bien, c'est la fin de eh bien, cet épisode. Je vous remercie de m'avoir suivi et je vous donne rendez-vous eh bien, au prochain. Allez, salut à tous.